go to your next section, which is comparing box plots. So example 4. The box plots below represent the temperatures on the day of the Boston Marathon and the New York City Marathon from 2000 to 2013. Use the box plots to answer the questions below. Well, let's look at these box plots really quickly and just talk about them. They both have the same minimum, which is interesting, but they have very different maximums. What else do you notice is the same and different? Hopefully you notice that their medians and their first quartiles are the same, but their third quartiles are very different. All right, so let's answer our question. It says compare the minimum, maximum, let me use the highlighter. Minimum, maximum, and median of the two box plots. Okay, so we just did. We said that the minimum, they are the same. The maximum, well, Boston is much greater at about, I would vote this would be probably like 87 degrees, where New York City, their high temperature was only about, say, like 69 degrees. And what about their medians? Well, the medians are also the same. So the only really varying difference is their high temperatures for the day from 2000 to 2013. Which city had a greater range? Which city had a greater range? Well, let's look. New York City's range goes from least, which is, I would say, about 46 to about 69. And Boston would have about 46 to about 87. Who's got the bigger spread? Who's got the bigger range? Well, Boston does, because it covers more temperatures. It's covering more data points. Now, number 3 says, compare the spread interquartile range. This isn't something we've talked about yet. We've talked about the regular range. The regular range is the max minus the min. But now let's talk about this interquartile range. If you go back up to your first flat, right here, we're going to talk about it. Let me erase some of the things that I have going on here so I have more room. Okay. Right here. Interquartile range, or the IQR. The interquartile range is very similar to the range, which is the maximum minus minimum, except it's taking just the max and the min of the box. Well, the max is Q3 and the min is Q1. So the interquartile range comes from Q3 minus Q1. And that's it. The third quartile minus the first quartile. So let's go back down here and say compare the spread of the interquartile range of the box plots. Well, let's find Boston's IQR. Boston's interquartile range would be, it's Q3, which is like 59, minus its Q1, which is 50. So that would be about 9. And New York City's IQR would be 50. Oh, sorry, it's third quartile, which would be 64, I would guess, minus 50, which is its Q1, is 14. Well, who's got the bigger IQR, and what does that mean? What do you think that means? Anyone? Do you think that means they have a greater spread, less of a spread? What do you think? Think about it. In the box is 50% of the data, so half of the data exists in the box. So who has a wider range of just temperatures in this little box? Well, New York City does. New York City has a much higher interquartile range, so they have a much greater spread. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it wasn't too much, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a good night.